come on, man.
Alright, dog.
Yo,
Alright.
MoneyPot about to start.
I know, I'm coming, man.
Yeah, grab your notepad, man, for real.
Alright, dog, fuck it, man. Come on.
Yeah, man, they be spitting shit, man.
True.
Yeah.
Side nipple.
Money pop, money talk. All they do is talk facts. Bird gang. All they do is talk stacks. 360 on the new view. Go run, tell the ad. 40-yard dash time. Moss Money Podcast time. S.co headline. Money pop.
He breaks so left, then he hits so right, and he breaks into the infield. The bodies.
Cha-ching.
Touchdown. Money.
Week 16, we back. Moss, Money. And of course, I got my right-hand man with me, the homie, S-Dot. Hey, man, it's been a couple weeks, bro. What's up with you, man? How's everything? Out here Christmas shopping?
Yeah, everything's good, man. Trying to get everything together.
I can dig it. Week 16, man, I've been on a little bit of a run here, man. Had these, I've been putting pics up on IG last 3 weeks. If y'all caught me in the IG stories, I'm 8-1-1. Turning up at the end here. You know what I mean? That's what it's about, too. Close the season off the right way, man. So I'm looking to continue that. And if I'm hitting on the IG, I'm hitting on the Super Contest. So the Super Contest, if y'all don't know, is out in Vegas, where it's a big contest where you pick 5 games a week against over it's like 22, 23, 2,400 people this year. So I looked at the record. I'm not in bad shape. I need 2 big weeks this week. If I can get 2 big weeks this week, I might be able to do some damage. Now, we ain't take it down this year. The winner is at, it looks like the winner right now is at 50 wins, and I'm in the 40s. So the leader is in 50, and I'm in the low 40s.
Okay. So he's in the high 50s or just at 50?
No, he's at 50.
Okay.
So I'm at 42 wins, and he's at 50. So I'm not going to be able to catch him.
Right.
I mean, it'd be love to go 10-0 the next 2 weeks, but I haven't gone 5-0 all year.
Right.
So I'm praying and hoping. So we'll see. But yeah, you know, so the Super Contest is fun, man. I'm going to get into it next year, obviously. We're going to do it every year. I'm going to win that joint, man. I'm going to knock that joint, man. I promise you that. So let's get into some news, man. Pro Bowl team came out. We had some snubs.
Yeah,
We got the roster here. Let me see if I can bring it up. A lot of usual people, like, you know, Patrick Peterson, Julio, Alex Mack. I'm trying to think who else. Luke Kuechly made it. No Jordan Howard, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah, I think he got snubbed too.
Yeah. Geno Atkins. I thought A.J. Green shouldn't be in. He's got 980 yards and 8 touchdowns.
I think he missed a couple games though, so that's good. Missed a couple games.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Of course, nobody from the Browns. Dallas had 3 offensive linemen. Chris Harris from Dallas made it. Who else?
Franklin, I think the center.
Right. Let me see. So
Frederick, I think it is.
Von Miller. Actually, no. Chris Harris got snubbed. I'm sorry. Chris Harris didn't make it.
Yeah.
Von Miller and Talib made it. That's it.
That's about right. Denver sucked this year.
Yeah. So, but you know what? It's tough because when you make the Pro Bowl 2 or 3 years ago, and if you don't really fall off, You know, it's tough. Like, you know, what's his name? Harrison Smith didn't get in
Yeah, from the Vikings.
from the Vikings, which I was kind of shocked. You know, but, you know, Jenkins had a hell of a year,
Yeah, but a year than that.
but Smith had a better year than Jenkins. So, and then not even that, Jenkins hasn't made it in a couple of years, but Harrison Smith has made it the last 2 years. So the whole thing is kind of finicky. You know, DeAndre Hopkins, Clowney made it. Yeah, Clowney deserves it. Alex Smith didn't make it, which I was kind of surprised. I thought he had a hell of a year.
I thought he should have made it as well.
Yeah, I thought he had a hell of a year.
I honestly think Jared Goff should have made it.
Did you? Over who? Let me see. See, the thing I got up here is not the full roster. It's just giving me.
Hold on, I'll get the full roster.
Let's see if we get the full roster up. That might be a little bit better. Here we go. I got it. So we got AB, DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Keenan Allen, and then
Solid.
we ain't going through the linemen. No, I guess so. Villanueva from the Steelers, Taylor Lean,
Time out.
what? Alejandro.
Do you know that we had him?
Yeah, I know.
And they had him at a D line.
Yeah, they had him as a D line.
And now he's a pro.
He was a-
tackle.
Yeah, he was a big story when he was here
Yeah.
because he was from the Rangers and all that. Yeah, I remember that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And we're struggling in left tackle.
Yeah, we are. Donald Penn. I forget how you say his name. Kalinchi from the Raiders. I know who he is though. David DeCastro, Richie Incognito, Pouncey, Rodney Hudson. Those are all your linemen. Then we got Travis Kelce, Gronk, no surprise, Brady, Rivers, Big Ben, Le'Veon, Kareem Hunt, McCoy, James Devlin from the Patriots is a fullback. Defense, Bosa, Campbell from the Jaguars, Khalil Mack, Geno Atkins, Casey from the Titans, Malik Jackson from the Jags, Ron Miller, Clowney, Terrell Suggs, C.J. Mosley, Ryan Shazier. That's surprising.
Nah, you think so? Ryan Shazier. Good year.
Yeah, he did have a good year.
He's all over the place, man. I like him. He's one of my favorite linebackers to watch.
Yeah, A.J. Boye, Ramsey, Talib, Casey Hayward, Eric Weddle, Rashad Jones, and Is that Mikael Hyde? Or is it Michael Hyde? Why is he spells it with M-I-C-A-H?
Yeah, Michael Hyde.
He's special. All right, so NFCs. We got Julio, Adam Thielen, Michael Thomas, Larry. Then I'm not going through the linemen again. Who cares about the damn linemen? Zach. Well, actually, you know what? We care because we got some Eagles in there. We got Tyron Smith, Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, Zach Martin, Brandon Brooks, Shepard from the Redskins. He's good. So here's the thing. Alex Mack and Travis Frederick of the Centers. Now I know Kelce had
Kelsey's ranked the #1 lineman in the league from Pro Football.
Yeah, from PFF, right?
Not just center, just of
All
all
linemen.
linemen. He's
Yeah.
ranked the #1 center.
Yeah, you can't snub
I
that.
have no idea how he didn't make it. Did you?
Well,
see
you know what? I looked into how they do it. It goes coaches, players, but the fans vote. The fact that the fans vote, it becomes a popularity contest, I think. On certain players, though. Now, we have a big fan base, so I mean, I don't know.
I don't think that plays into part a lot because that would be an ongoing thing because a lot of just guys are popular, but
right.
Even the guy Damon Harrison from the Giants, the D tackle, he was like,
Oh, Snacks?
yeah, he said, I have no idea
Yeah, I saw
how
that on
Kelsey
Twitter.
didn't make it.
Yeah.
He's like, that's insane.
It's insane, yeah.
He's like, I don't know how.
I wonder if that's why he was mad. He was throwing trash cans in practice that they found out.
No. He had got kicked in like the shin.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he got kicked in the shin.
That shit must have hurt for
Yeah,
him to snap
yeah.
like that and walk out.
Yeah.
We got Zach Ertz, Jimmy Graham, Carson Wentz, Russell, Drew Brees. Yeah, well, I don't think Goff make. Who you putting Goff over there?
I'm just saying, I just golf.
He might be
really
an
good.
alternate though.
I'm sure he probably is. Yeah.
Gurley, Mark Ingram, and Kamara. Then I know this guy is. I forget how you say his name, but the Niners fullback, he's a beast. Kyle Cheswick or something. Everson Griffin, Cameron Jordan, Lawrence. We talked about. We're not on the show, but me and you had spoke about how Brandon Graham.
Yeah,
We felt Brandon Graham got snubbed.
No, I don't. After looking at it, I don't think he got snubbed.
Snubbed.
I think it was fair.
There's some good players there. That's a good.
Yeah,
That's a good
and
line.
like I said, with Lawrence, he missed his first 4 games. He was suspended, and has.
Well, shouldn't they take 4 though? They only got 3 defensive ends. Well, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
He got 13 and a half sacks.
Well, Lawrence and Griffin, I don't have a problem. I guess Jordan's the only one you could argue.
Right, that's what I said. You can argue him, but when I looked at his stats, I think he had like more turnovers, like forced fumbles, and just a couple other things. Maybe I think it was 1 more sack. It wasn't nothing crazy.
Cool. So we know about Fletch, Aaron Donald, Gerald McCoy. Then we got Chandler Jones, Carrigan, Anthony Barr, Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, Rhodes, Patrick Peterson, Lattimore, Darius Slay, Earl Thomas, Collins, and the homie Malcolm Jenkins.
Right.
So, there was some snubs in there, I thought.
Yeah, I got a couple. I thought, like I said, Kelsey. I definitely believe Kelsey was a snub.
Right.
Leonard Fournette. I thought he should have probably made it. Because he had a hell of a year, man.
No, he did. He started off fast too.
Yeah, and I think he's 3rd in rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, that's pretty serious for a rookie.
Yeah, absolutely for a rookie. Alex Smith, I agree with Alex Smith as well.
Yeah.
Jordan Howard, and I think Marvin Jones should have made it as well from the Lions.
Detroit.
Yeah, he's having a really good year. He's
is.
at like 970 yards right now.
And sometimes it's funny, man. Sometimes with the Pro Bowl, they have to have one good year and then back it up again before they actually really get that acknowledgement. So, I don't know. We will see. We will see. So, speaking about the Pro Bowl, before we get to the Pro Bowl, though, obviously you got to play the Super Bowl. Is it Pro Bowl before the Super Bowl this year? Well, they switched it, right?
It's been like that for the last few years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl and then the Super Bowl.
So hold on.
Because whoever
is it playoffs, Pro Bowl, and then Super Bowl?
After the championship game, AFC and NFC, they don't, because if you make it to the Super Bowl and you was nominated for the Pro Bowl, you're alternate though.
Okay. So who you think is dangerous right now? If you look at the NFC East,
the Rams.
You like the Rams as a dangerous team.
The Rams are very dangerous.
See, I think I see the Rams coming though. I don't think the Rams surprise me.
You didn't say surprising. You just said who do you see dangerous?
Right. So let me kind of detail that question a little bit more. I meant in terms of a lower seed or a seed that's not in as of yet, or they're on the brink. They're on the outside looking in. I have a scenario, and I'll read it out to you. Let me see.
I'm gonna always go with good old Seattle. On the outside, they can still sneak. Yeah, they can still sneak in. They've been there before.
Yeah. Let me bring this John over here. So this is what we got. I'm gonna read through the scenario for the NFC East. So Philly can clinch the home field advantage if they win, or they tie, or Minnesota loses. Minnesota clinches a first round bye if they win and Carolina loses, or they tie, Carolina loses, New Orleans loses, and the Rams lose. So everybody's got to lose for them to get it. The Rams clinch the division if they win and Seattle loses. They clinch a berth if Detroit loses and Carolina loses and Atlanta loses. The Saints clinch the South Division with a Carolina loss and the New Orleans, and they win. And they clinch a berth if they win and if Dallas and Seattle tie. The Panthers clinch a berth if they win and Seattle and Dallas tie, and Atlanta clinches a playoff berth, and if they win, Dallas and Seattle tie, and Detroit loses or tie. So Atlanta needs a lot to happen to clinch a berth. So they're going to go to the end.
Yeah, they'll go to the end.
Yeah, they go to the end. So that's the scenario right now for just the teams that are looking as the top 6 seeds as of right now.
Right.
Let me see here. What we got here? So as of right now, we have in the AFC, we got 1 and 2 is New England and Pittsburgh. Your third is Jags. 4 is KC. 5 is Tennessee. And 6 is Buffalo. Outside looking in is the Ravens and the Chargers at 7 and 8. NFC, we got the Eagles at 1, Minnesota at 2. Then we got the Rams, New Orleans, and then Carolina, and then Atlanta, and then we got Detroit and Seattle outside looking in at 7 and 8. Man, Dallas, to me, man, Dallas is scary, man. I think I told you this before. I know Dallas needs a lot to happen.
I don't think they make it.
They're scary here, man. I wrote that down, man, because you know what? In December and January, you need to be able to play defense. You need to be able to run the ball. And getting Zeke back, I know the reports are out that he's in the best shape of his life. He's all ripped up, whatever. Pictures are out. But the fact is that I look at it like this. They were 13-3 last year. They were one of the best teams in the NFL last year with Zeke, with this defense being a little bit better than it was last year. And he's got fresh legs, man. He's got fresh legs.
But like you said, they need a whole lot. And honestly, they're going to be away. They're going to have to play away if they make it in that 6 seed. Wherever they go, they play away.
Right.
I just don't. I don't see them making any noise, even if they get in. I just don't. I mean, they're a little scary, but
I think they're scary as hell, man.
But I just don't think they don't make any noise.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, they need help. They need Detroit to lose.
They need
like they really need Detroit to lose for them to have a shot, and they need Seattle. They got to beat Seattle, so that's step one.
And then they got to worry about Atlanta,
and then they still got to see us in the last week.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which they'll probably. I think they'll beat us the last week because I don't think Doug already was talking about sitting the starters.
Yeah. Especially if we lock it up.
Yeah.
Because we'll know by the end of tomorrow if Minnesota flops, which I don't see happening.
Yeah, especially with Rodgers
out. Yeah. So in the AFC, I wrote down the Jags. So I think when you look at who's hot right now, right? Like who's starting to turn it on. And
see the Jags, I don't know, because the Jags is like in the same position as the Rams now.
Right, but see, I think the Rams.
They're both number 3.
But the Rams. No, I get what you're saying.
Right.
But I think the Rams, as a whole, have always been explosive offensively, and they've had sound defense. I think the Jags are one of those teams where you kind of question, because if they're down, then you feel like it's over. But Blake Bortles has been playing well the last couple games. I think he's got like 7 or 8 touchdowns and 1 pick. You know what I'm saying? So and we already know what that defense is. The best defense in the league. You know what I mean? So if you get that offense going, and remember Fournette was out last week too. So I just think, they're starting to come around right at the right time. Bortles is playing good right around the right time.
They got to get that kid healthy. As long as he's healthy, that's like
man. He was like that in LSU, man. He always had some weird injury.
Yeah.
But he just, I guess, his style. He just runs violently. Yeah, he just runs violently. So, I mean, those are my 2 picks. Man, I'm really scared. I'm not even gonna say. I'm not even gonna say.
I'm not worried about Dallas, to be honest. I honestly don't think they get in. I'm hoping they don't get in. I don't want to hear anyone's mouth.
Yo, talking about that, have you starting to see these boys starting to come out the woodworks?
No,
like,
I don't.
I haven't seen, not even to say anything, but I'm just saying, like, you usually see the people with the star on walking around, especially when they win. But I haven't seen nothing for weeks because it's been nothing but birds. But like all of a sudden, I see like little people with their hats on, with the full get up. I saw a boy right down the corner.
I see them all the time though, so I can't even front. Like I just see people they wear their stars regardless. I don't know why, but I be wanting to take it off their head and burn it or something.
Word. So I know some of y'all can't see this Joan Out of Pocket segment. We haven't done this in a while, but me and the homie we doing a lot today. We're a little tired, so I thought it'd be a good time to bring in a little laugh and see what's going on. The homie Snoop is hilarious on IG. Here's a little dummy of the week, Joe. Look how he fall, yo. Yo, there's one more I gotta find that is hilarious. I was like, yo, wait till Steve see this shit. This shit funny as hell. Oh, here it is. This joint hilarious, Steve. He's done. He ain't even moving. Yeah, there you go. Come on. Yo, that joint is hilarious, bro. Hilarious. It's bull funny too. I don't know what he's doing. It's some sensitive thugs. But one more time. Man down. Hand down. Man down. Alright. Just to wake us all up a little bit, man.
Late night.
Yeah.
Early mornings.
True. So let's get to these birds, man. Nikki Foles, what's up?
It's Nick Foles, man.
Nikki Foles, what's up? Saint Nick, man.
He played a good game, and I'm not gonna take anything away from him. Played a good game against a pretty good secondary.
Yeah.
Giants got an okay secondary. He had some, throws that I wish he wouldn't have thrown, but that's Wentz got some of those as well.
Go ahead.
I'm starting to get a little more confident. They haven't really, and the thing about it, which is good, they haven't changed the game plan.
Right.
It's kind of been the same,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's a concept.
Yeah. And I don't think they were ever going to. A lot of people were saying how they were going to go to like a really run heavy. And that's not the Eagles. I mean, he's not obviously Carson Wentz. He doesn't have the high ceilings Carson Wentz. He doesn't have the escapability Carson Wentz. And his arm is it's not as good as Carson Wentz. But he's been in this position before, right? He's been a backup. He's started. He's played in big games. He's won big games. He's lost big games. So I don't think the moment is too big for him. I think he fully understands where we are as a team. But I think the biggest difference about all the other Nick Foles kind of, just not progression, but all his other kind of starts, whether it was here, whether he was starting with the Rams or playing in KC or whatever it was, he's never had this much talent around him. Where do you have this much talent?
Shady, Deshaun, Macklin.
You think that team is more talented than this team?
Offensively? You can say it's about the same talent.
I don't think so.
The running back, definitely.
I mean, I give it to Shady, but I don't think
Deshaun Jackson and Macklin on each side. Yeah, it's about the same.
You think one of those guys are more talented than Jeffrey?
And he played with Ertz. So Ertz was
Ertz is better. Ertz is better version of this.
But Selleck was okay then. He was still good.
Yeah, and then
but what I'm saying,
I hate to say it, but Aguilar's, you got to put Aguilar in there.
Yeah.
He's got 8, 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, they all got 8. Ertz and Jeffers.
Yeah.
I think they all got 8. Yeah.
So,
I'm just saying, I think the talent level on offense, he still had the same, pretty much.
I just think they have more playmakers now than they did back then. They got playmakers at every level.
There's nobody that could take the top off like
DJ.
Right. Then you had that medium guy in the slot, Jason Avant, that was really productive.
Right.
And then you had Macklin.
Well, I look at it like this. I think, we don't have anybody who can take it off the top, but just for this year, Aguilar has been dynamic where he makes plays.
Right.
So, he's had some highlight plays where he's got people in front of him and he makes a miss, or he's made a good 40-yard run, or whatever the situation may be.
Right.
Jeffrey is just Jeffrey. He's just a big body receiver, and then Ertz across the middle, Ertz has been, killing people. And he's actually been having some yards after carry, this year for once. So, I just think the whole offense is dynamic. It's very similar to what that offense was.
Right.
But I just think they're a little bit more explosive. Outside of Shady, because Shady's Shady. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shady, they did a lot of screen passes. They did a lot of stuff with Shady.
Right.
So, I feel you. What do you think about Foles in the playoffs, man? How deep does he get us?
As deep as the defense gets us.
That's a great answer.
That's where he gets us. I think he can manage to throw about 2-3 touchdowns.
Right.
At times, but we don't want to ask too much of him. Drive us, put us in good position.
Game manager at this point?
No. You don't have to have him as a game manager. You open up the playbook, let him play. But that defense is what's going to get us as far as we go.
No, that's absolutely right.
We can't allow 30 points.
So, speaking of that, speaking about the points and how our secondary got gassed, how you feel about Sidney Jones? Do we activate him? Are we? Nah. You don't think so?
No. I don't see the reason for it. I just think that I think the scheme had a lot to do with it as well. So if you're going to run the same scheme, sometimes it don't matter who you plug in.
Right.
When you playing 8-9 yards off the ball and they keep throwing slants, you're giving them that. You're giving them the slant, easy slant.
Yeah, no, they are.
So,
you know what I noticed? He doesn't blitz that much as he used to. He never been a big blitzer, but
he never really blitzed too much.
But this year he was up. Like his percentage of blitzing was definitely up.
Yeah. I think he'll go back to him. He's running a lot. Like his defense has been vanilla the last 2-3 games.
Right.
So he's gonna have to tweak some of the things that he does as a coach, coordinator. But I really don't think that the addition of Sidney Jones, like I said, being as though he don't have no experience, we don't know what he's bringing to the table.
This is true.
So just to plug a guy in, where do you plug him in at? It's always the question. You can't plug him in at neither one of the starting cornerback positions.
Oh, no.
Patrick Robinson is holding down the slot. So that's what I'm saying. Where do you now you can plug him in against the Cowboys, I believe, because I think the starters are sit. So you let him and Rasul Douglas play. If you're going to let him play, that's when you let him play.
You even let Sewell play?
Yeah. I'm not starting Darby or Jalen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Darby. My bad. Yeah, no, you're right. You get a look at the future real quick.
Absolutely. So you
against competition, because Dallas going to be playing that game.
Yeah. So you let them play.
Right.
Let them play, and you see it. But if you don't have no plans of having him play, then you stash him for next year.
No, I heard you. I like it. I like the plan. So speaking on that, going on the defense and looking at key players and stuff like that. Who do you think we need down the stretch here? Like who do we need to really show up? Scheme, player, coach, offensively and defensively, you think?
Defensively, Jim Schwartz.
Okay.
He needs to show up, as well as everybody on that defense. You can't be embarrassed like that. You got to take that personal.
Absolutely.
As a unit, you have to take these last 3 weeks personal, and y'all come together and say, listen, we're not giving up. We're going to tell our offense to score 2 touchdowns or 3 max. We're not giving up over that.
Right.
And that's what you got to do. Everyone has to play together. Offensively, left tackle Vitae needs to step up.
I like
Big
that.
time.
I put Jeffrey as my offensive guy.
Yeah.
I just think he's got to play bigger than he has. He's got to separate himself as being the best offensive weapon that we have. To me, he's got to make big
plays.
plays.
Let me ask you this. He scored the last 5 games.
He has, yes.
And if you ever look at it, he's always double team, double, triple at times.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it like that, but
look at it. Honestly, take a look and you see. A lot of times there's two guys on.
I just feel like we haven't seen that Alshon Jeffrey game yet. Like that game, okay, we know who he is. We know the talent he brings to the table. We know how good he is, but he hasn't had that like true number one explosive game.
You know why? And he's probably not.
He probably won't
because they spread the ball around so much. Right. It makes it much, and he's the reason a lot of other guys is able to get open because they focus on him.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, they
so
have to.
I think that he's pretty solid where he is right now.
Right.
Like long as he's made huge catches the last couple games.
Yeah, he's made some big catches.
The one that touchdown Wentz threw before he got out.
Right.
He caught it like right by with his fingertips at the ground. He caught another one last game across the middle when he held it like with both hands. It was just crazy, like on the tip of the ball.
Yeah.
But I just think that Vitae is the key, man. He's stunk. He stunk against the Giants. I think he gave up 2 sacks.
Who was on that side? Was it Runner?
Whoever you wanted to put over there, but yeah. Olivier Varner is over there. And
that's a legit DN.
But you're going to see legit DNs in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, you will.
If we play Minnesota, you got Everson Griffin.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I'm not scared of Minnesota at all. I'm really not. They don't scare me.
Yeah, I don't think I am too much.
Yeah, like
because it's almost like we evenly matched.
Yeah, I'm
2
not
backups.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody.
But they can't. They have no run game. I don't. I mean, they've been kind of getting
I
off.
was going to say they've been because Latavius Murray's been playing pretty good.
Yeah, I hate the way he runs though. He runs so he runs like with straight legs.
And then they mix in McKinnon as well.
Yeah, McKinnon's the dynamic of the two.
Yeah.
But I think Murray doesn't really scare me. Especially we have a legit run defense. You know what I'm saying? So Minnesota doesn't really scare me too much. You know, I wouldn't. I don't. If Minnesota comes here and it's the NFC Championship, I'm betting the house on the Eagles.
Nice.
And I put the D line. I said the D line. I said they have to turn up. You know, we need to dominate at the line of scrimmage on the defensive line. We need to create havoc and grit pressure, put the quarterback on his ass. You know, we're going to need that against good offensive too. So, you know, if we can't get home, I think we might get exposed again in the secondary.
Well, I think the thing about that is the scheme was going to come into play because a lot of the offenses probably from here on out might replicate what Eli Manning and the Giants did.
This is true.
Even the first game, they did the same thing. Eli Manning didn't sack. He didn't get sacked the first game. He did a lot of 3-step drops, hurry up and get the ball out, or line up in shotgun. You know, take a step, throw the ball real quick.
And the funny thing is too, they were saying during the game, like as soon as they bit, they would do like a double move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you set them up for it.
Yeah.
You've been running slants all game. As soon as you go to the jump the route, you're going to receive.
And we have aggressive corners that play like that. It makes sense.
So I just think either they need to play more up in the receivers' faces or just mix it up. Like you got to mix it up. You can't stay, content with one style. Right.
I can dig it. So it's been a lot of bowl games, man. College football is coming up soon. I don't know what games are this week. Is there any big college football games this week?
Temple, shout out to Temple. They won their bowl game.
Yeah? Shout out to Temple then.
Shout out to Temple. Let's see.
Against FIU too. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking about the other team, FAU.
Yeah, FAU played the other day. They won. They blew somebody out. Sorry to bet on them. They won.
So I'm looking at it now. They got Texas Tech in South Florida, San Diego State and Army, Appalachian State and Toledo, and then Christmas Eve is Fresno and Houston, and then it's still we still got another week until the bigger ones come. Yeah, these are still small. Yeah, I know nothing about that. Who you got in the championship though? I know the playoffs are set with the Sugar and the Rose Bowl. Who you got winning into the championship, and give me a quick pick for taking it off as the college football national champion.
So there's going to be Georgia is playing.
Georgia's playing Oklahoma and Bama's playing Clemson.
I think Georgia stops.
Ooh.
Bama. Clemson.
Bama? Yeah, it's hard to go against Bama. I actually went the complete opposite. I like Oklahoma. I like Clemson. And I like Oklahoma to win it all. Right. No, they are. They got some dogs over there, man. They got some dogs. All right. So, if y'all didn't, before we get into picks, like I said earlier in the show, make sure y'all check out MoneyPot Podcast on Instagram. I've been kind of hot lately in my picks. 8-1-1 the last 3 weeks. Looking to keep it going. Now, my picks are going to change. So right now when we do our picks, I do have locks for this week. But there's also a chance that they might change when Sunday comes around. Now, we have 2 Saturday games. And the only really important game out of those Saturday games is the Vikings and Green Bay game. So that could, hinder different things. If the Vikings actually lose that game, that changes the game for, say, the Eagles on Monday night. Because by default, the Eagles would have secured the first round bye, and that line might fluctuate. Also, there has been changes because of weather, late injuries, people who are questionable who might get a start in shots. So just make sure you check me out on IG. It's a possibility that my pick or my best bet that happens today might change on Sunday, but I'll make sure I'll give out about. I've been giving out 3 last week. I gave out 4. I think I'm looking at 3 this week. It's a tough week this week, I feel. It's a lot of big spreads. Vegas got killed last week. Favorites once again took the majority of the share, and that means a lot of people won because the public always goes with the favorite for the majority of the side. So a lot of these numbers are inflated because of that. So let's get into picks, man. Yo, man, they're going to need a whole new cast. All these boys going down with this sexual harassment shit.
Right.
This shit is crazy, man. We got 2 games on Saturday, man. Let's run through it. We got Indy and Baltimore, man. What you got for me, buddy?
That's a high spread with Baltimore minus 13.
Yes, sir.
I'll say if you can get a chance to tease it, take Baltimore with the teaser. I like Baltimore in this game, though, honestly. I just think they flat out won.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a lot of points. It's interesting, too, that the Ravens are the number 1 scoring team in the last couple of weeks. I think they've been averaging about over 30 points a game in the last 4 weeks. I still like the Ravens to win. They're still not a lock for the playoffs, even though it looks like they're going to make the playoffs.
Right.
So I'm going to take the points. I like Baltimore minus 13. I think they trash Indy.
Yeah.
Next game, Vikings versus the Packers. No Rodgers, shut down for the year.
Yeah, I'm going Minnesota minus 9. I just don't see the Packers doing too much, moving the ball too much with Brett Hundley against that defense.
All right, I completely agree. Adams is out. He's his favorite target. You put Xavier Rhodes on Jordy Nelson, and what do you got? You got Brad Hundley just running around, scrambling around.
Right.
A lot of people say Packers not gonna quit. They got their fans. A lot of tradition, great fans with season ticket holders. That's not that type of team, but they're about to get punched in the mouth. So I like the Vikings 9, 10, 11, whatever.
Nice.
All right, Sunday slate, first game of the week. We got the winless Browns are going against a bum Chicago team.
Yeah, minus 6.5. I'm gonna take Chicago with that. I mean, it's just like the Browns are in tank mode. They already know that.
They've been in tank mode for like 2 years.
Yeah. So exactly, why would they get out?
How does Hugh Jackson have a job? He's won in like 23.
Well, he took over trash. Like they just
but he's won one game.
They got some talent in this draft, but I think you give him one more year because he was able to.
I think at least two. He need.
Yeah, I mean I don't think he gets fired. I wouldn't fire him, but he took over like trash.
Yeah, I don't know if I go quarterback with the first pick. If it's not the franchise guy, don't be forced to.
If you able to get Lamar Jackson mid-round, I'll take it.
You think Lamar is going to be any better than Kaiser though in the league?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. We're talking Lamar Jackson, Kaiser.
Right, but when Lamar faced tight coverage in a defense, he didn't do too well in college. And this is the pearls we're talking about.
They got him. Who else they got? Lamar Jackson don't really get no. They don't get no crazy recruits in Louisville for football.
Well, they have though. They're a legit powerhouse type of football team.
No, basketball, yes. Football, hell no.
I thought they were up and coming.
No, they're okay.
I mean, I agree with your pick though. At the end of the day, you know what I mean. I'm going Chicago too. I thought to myself, I've been telling people Cleveland. I've been close.
Right.
Cleveland, Tennessee. That was a 9-6 game. Cleveland, was it Baltimore? They were up like 21-7, I think, or was it the week before that? It was some team they were up 21-7 and they still lost. For whatever reason, I think that game they went to overtime. For whatever reason, at the end of the game, there's always some turnover that goes for a touchdown.
Right.
I have no idea why. Chicago. Next game, Detroit versus Cincy. This is interesting.
I'm going Detroit here. They got a lot to play for. I think they've been playing pretty solid like all year. They dropped a couple close games, but I think they get this together. They're away, and they're still favored.
Yeah, they're away, and this line was a lot higher before I looked at it today. It was actually yesterday. It was -5.5. So money's been pouring in on Cincy. So here's the narrative.
I think whatchamacallit is cleared to play to Joe Mixon.
Yeah, Mixon. They're getting some of them boys back.
Right.
But the narratives is that they're going to be in their home crowd. It's going to be Marvin Lewis's last home game in front of their home crowd. It's that whole kind of, we're going to win one more for him. And not even that, it's a dome team coming outside in the cold and it's supposed to snow. So, money's...
Snow that's a crazy one. Just watch this game. If it's snowing, you see it in the forecast, or if you put in a pick, like, let's say like noon or something, just watch the weather over there, because that'll definitely change it.
Yeah, so it's supposed to snow. I actually already bet this game because I saw that and I got it higher. But now that it's at 3, if it keeps going down, I'm going to lean more Detroit. So I don't like that the line, like everybody's pounding Cincy. Right, and I think it's going to be reversed now. I think if it gets too low, Detroit could just win the game.
Yeah, I think Detroit wins.
So I like that. I like that pick now that you just made though. Next game.
Here comes the money.
First lock. And it's a tough call, y'all. A lot of tough games this week. Rams, Tennessee.
That was my lock. Got to start right next to the Rams, -6.
Ooh, I went the other way.
God bless you.
I went the other way.
God bless you.
So here it is. Tennessee is... What are they? I have it in my head. Tennessee, I believe, is 7-2 against winning teams at home. And it's some other crazy stat that they are that I can't think of right now at home. The Rams are on their 3rd road game, 2nd on the East Coast in the last 3 weeks. They just came off an ass whooping of the Seattle. I think this is a letdown game. Tennessee needs this game. They're in a must-win game. That offense is poop. Mariota's been poop. But at the end of that last game, when they let Mariota do a hurry-up offense and let him call the plays, I think they go with that tempo in this game. I think this is a letdown game for the Rams. I like Tennessee here. I bet this game early. I got them at the good number of 7, which is a touchdown. So that's why I bet it. It has dropped since. I like Tennessee here. It's a lock.
Nice. I just think the Rams, they got too much on offense. I think Todd Gurley shreds them. They got a lot of confidence. They know that they still are playing for, the number 2 seed.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
Just because Minnesota can lose, so they're putting themselves in position.
And that's a good thing you said that. If Minnesota wins, that could be an easy letdown for the Rams because if Minnesota wins, I think they lock up their first round bye.
Okay.
So that means the Rams, they might fold. They might not play their boys as much.
Yeah.
So
but see, the Rams, they want that number 3 or 4 seed, so they want the matchup.
They want to win.
So they're gonna. And the defense, man, their defense is just stout. Tennessee offense just stinking.
Yeah. No, it has. I think Tennessee. This is a must-win. Tennessee. They're going to give everything they got.
Yeah.
So that's why I went Tennessee. Next game. Oh, we going back to back.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Money, 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 money. Next game we got Miami and KC. Huge spread. 10.5.
Yeah, I want Miami minus the 10.5. I'm a plus 10.5.
Yeah, I went KC. I love KC in this spot. I think they still fighting here. Are they tied with? No,
they won in their division. Right?
Yeah, they're up a game against the Chargers, but they still got to hold off the Chargers. I think they make this a statement game. I think Revis and Peters actually take care of that passing game. I forgot Revis was even on KC until I watched the game.
Yeah, you should continue to forget things.
And then, and it's still Jay Cutler at the end of the day. I don't see much on that offense doing anything. I think they shut down Julian Thomas. I'm not sure if they did or not. So give me KC at home. I think that place will be rocking. I like that. I like KC to cover there. Next game. This is a tough one, man. Buffalo and the Pats. Another must-win for a desperate team on the road.
Yeah.
Big spread, minus 11.5.
It's crazy. If you can buy New England down single digits, you go ahead, and I'll take that all day.
Yeah. No, I agree. I
still might take him with 11.5, honestly, but
I'm not betting against Tom. No way, no. I don't care who. I don't care how big the spread is.
yeah.
I've learned that lesson the hard way. I'm not betting against Tom, especially in Foxborough. He's ridiculous at home. But somehow Tyrod Taylor keeps these boys in games. I just don't think they have enough offensively to keep up with the Pats. I like that pick. And this might be the biggest game of the week right here. Well, second biggest game of the week, I think. This is Atlanta and New Orleans. Tough game to call.
It's crazy because I actually went the under, which is 52.5.
Okay.
I just think they'll play each other tight. They always play each other tight. They can score in bunches, both of them.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing, man. That's really the scary thing because Atlanta can wake up at any time and just tee off because they can score with anybody in the league. It's just, do you trust Matt Ryan? I'm one of those guys who don't. I don't trust Matt Ryan.
I've always argued with Sam. I don't think he's that good.
Shout out to the homie Rothstein. Was it 23?
Yeah,
Rothstein 23. He actually listened to the Instagram picks, and he actually won some coin last week. I had a 3-team and a 1-team push, but he actually made some bucks on me last week. So shout out to the homie with the support, man. Yeah, I feel you though, man. You never liked Matt Ryan. You've always said he sucked.
Yeah, I don't think he's
The interesting stat I found about this game, the underdog is 14-5 against the spread, which is crazy, which would say Atlanta. And I talked to a couple other people. There's a couple of people out there who really like Atlanta in this game. They're in a must-win game. I just trust Breeze at home in New Orleans more than I trust Matt Ryan on the road. Give me New Orleans. Next game. Chargers versus the Jets. This one is a dookie game. Even though the Chargers still got something to play for here, though. They're still fighting.
Well, I got the Chargers, and that's another one I said I'll buy down to.
Yeah, I like that as a teaser, just for the Chargers to win. Phil Rivers had a bad game last week. I like him as a bounce back candidate right here. Even though it's a West Coast traveling east, you really don't like that.
Right.
But it's
6.5. So if
yeah,
you buy him
down. You get him just for the win.
Right.
I'm not a big Price Petty fan. They did say he didn't play too bad, but I'm going with I think is the better team, Chargers. Next game, Denver versus Washington. I threw this one in the air.
I'm going Washington -3. Give me Washington.
Yeah, I like. You know what? I like Washington.
You can also money line them. Money line them and get them just for that.
I like Washington if Paxton Lynch plays. So what is happening? They're both taking first round reps.
Okay.
Patrick Lynch and Osweiler are both taking Lynch.
Lynch looks bad.
Exactly. That's why I like Washington and Lynch plays.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you like Denver.
No, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Osweiler, even though
he's been playing okay lately.
Yeah, it was just the last game though.
Yeah.
He slung it around. But other than that, I mean, it's still Osweiler. Over the time, he hasn't been that good. And Washington, even though they're extremely banged up, you've seen that they might lose their running back again.
Wow.
So it might be some dude named Gibbs. I think Herman had like a groin injury in practice Thursday or Friday. I forget it. They had the dude from the Eagles, was it Maxwell? They had Marshall. I'm sorry, Marshall. They had Thompson go out. Fat Rob is out, and I think another guy went out. So all they really had was it Perrine? Perrine. Yeah. So that's all they had. And he just got hurt. So I don't know, man. If Lynch plays, I like Washington. If Osweiler plays, I guess I like Denver. Next game.
Here comes the money.
We're going to wrap this thing up soon here, buddy. Getting late. Jacksonville versus the Niners. Lock it in. Jags. Everybody hype on this Jimmy G train, and I was one of the pushers. I've actually liked San Fran the last couple of weeks, but he ain't never seen a defense like this. I'm sorry. I know Jimmy G looks good. He's doing very well. He is actually undefeated in his NFL career. I think he started 2 or 3 games with the Patriots. He has not lost yet, but he has not faced a ball-hawking defense like this yet. Give me the Jags. Great value at -4. Lock it in. Next game. Bucks versus Carolina. Big spread, too. I think it's -10.5.
I actually with Tampa plus the 10.5.
I think D-Jack, and I know Howard's out, if you didn't know that.
Yeah, but I still think they got a lot of fight in them. They showed it last week against Atlanta. They just play the divisional games a lot tougher.
Yeah, I agree. I like Winston. Winston's coming around a little bit. If he doesn't turn the ball over, you can see that he's a good quarterback. He's a franchise-type quarterback if he doesn't turn the ball over. Carolina is heating up, though. They are playing well. Cam is laughing, having a good time, and that's never a good thing for anybody who plays Carolina. They might be the hottest team in the NFC East right now, the way they're playing. I like the over here. I think there's going to be some scoring in this game. Next game. This is what I think is the second game of the week. Huge game. Seattle versus Dallas. What you got for me, buddy?
I took Seattle plus the 4.5.
Plus the 4.5?
Yeah, I think they'll cover.
Yeah. I'm just, I think Zeke just changes that dynamic of that game, man. I think Seattle's done.
He definitely does.
Yeah, I think Seattle's done. They're blowing up on the sideline. They're fighting each other. They have no cohesiveness. They've been injured everywhere on the offensive line, the secondary. People are, already leaving. You already had Earl Thomas talking about retirement earlier in the year. Russell's almost got so much magic left. He's almost got so much,
They still have Russell.
Yeah, they do, but I like Dallas in this game. I think Dallas wins this game. Next game. Giants versus the Cardinals in a Dookie Bowl.
I went Giants.
Yeah, I kind of agree here. I think Drew Stanton is getting the start here over, what's his name? Wow, what's his name? He used to play for the Jags. Was it the Jags?
Yeah, he did.
Gilbert or something like that?
Blaine Gabbert.
Gabbert, yeah. He looks like a Gilbert. Yeah, and he's been actually playing well, and I don't understand the QB change here for all of a sudden. And Eli plays. Eli's going to play. He can be 0-14 right now, and he's still going to play. I don't know if they attacked his defense the same way they attacked ours, but I do like the G-Man here. I think they find a way to make this game close. Last two games. And, of course, always the game of the week. We got the Oakland Raiders and the Birds.
Eagles -9.
Eagles -9.
I'm taking it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Cooper might play this game, but I think the Raiders are done. The Raiders are just not a good team.
Yeah, they're not that good.
Yeah,
And I think we bottle up Marshawn.
I like the under in this game.
But see, the only thing that Oakland does well is throw those short slants like the Giants did last week.
Right.
So we can't jump on top of that, then we'll have a long day.
I think they're gonna start that right away. You know what I mean? I think they'll start with that right away. But obviously we gotta know that's coming since that was the blueprint last game. Mm-hmm. Last game of the week before we end the show, the Steelers versus the Texans. Pittsburgh -9.
Pittsburgh -9.
You like Pittsburgh here?
Yeah, I like Pittsburgh. It's gonna be a lot of Le'Veon Bell, heavy dosage.
Yeah, it is going to be a lot of Le'Veon.
No AB.
I didn't get a read on this game. I don't know what they're going to look like without AB. Obviously, they are a different offense on the road. I'll tell you what the pulse is out there, though. I see everybody on Houston. They say this is a classic play where the Steelers are in a classic letdown Steelers mode because their offense has been, even though they've been putting up yards, making all these crazy records and 500, 600, 700 yards of offense, they're still only winning the game by like 3 points. They're not blowing they haven't blown anybody out if you look at the scores. So, a lot of people on Texans here, they just think it's too big of a spread. I could see it go one way. I could see it go either way. I like the over here, actually.
Okay.
I like the over here. So, we got a lot of good picks here, man. I think it was a really tough week just because the inflated spreads, because, Vegas got killed last week because of the favorites winning out for the most part. I think maybe one or two dogs won outright last week. So, happy handicapping, happy betting, and of course, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, y'all.
Peace. Merry Christmas.
Yo, come on, man. Yo, MoneyPot about to start.
I know, I'm coming, man.
Yeah, grab your notepad, man, for real.
Fuck it, man. Come on.
Yeah, man, they be spitting shit, man.
True.
Yeah. MoneyPot, money talks. All they do is talk facts. Bird gang. All they do is talk stats. 360 on the new view. Go run, tell that. 40-yard dash.
I had put a joint up. Tada came on the joint. Who was talking to me? I had put a video up. I had put an Instagram video of Jordan had came out. And there was a couple people on there. Make sure I shot him out. Told him to get put the album out. I told him I listened. Have you listened to this drum? I told him I listened to it. Yeah, another 50. Jesus Christ.